welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Rye, and this is Rye's Reading Corner, and today I'm going to be doing my very first book unhaul. So this has been something I've probably been or should have done a long time ago, but I just haven't because I don't like parting with my books. However, I got a new bookshelf and it has forced me to go through what I have on my bookshelves that are books that I have read, and it's also kind of forced me to go through my unread books and see if I'm still interested in those books or if I have duplicates. And there were some books that I needed to unhaul. So this will be my very first unhaul video. If there's a book that I show that you feel like I really should be giving a second chance to, please let me know down in the comments below and I will maybe save them for my unhaul if you guys insist that they're a book that I really should give a try. So kind of how this is going to work, I'm going to show you the book and then I'll kind of go over my rationale of why I am going to be unhauling this book. So my very first book is a book I've had for a really long time, and I think I've kind of lost interest in the series. I read the books when they first came out. This one came out later, and it is The Fever Code by James Dashner. This is like a prequel to The Maze Runner. I read all 4 books a long time ago. This one came out and I've had it now for several years and I haven't picked it up, and I feel like I'm kind of past the series, so I feel like it's just time to get rid of it. But again, if you think I really should give The Fever Code a chance, please let me know down in the comments below. Alright, the next book I will be unhauling, I have like 2 huge Wegmans bags. That's why I'm like pulling it from, is The Book of Essie by Megan McClear Weir. This was a book of the month from June of 2018. I literally don't even know what this is about. Couldn't tell you. I don't even know why I picked this book. It wasn't for the cover because I don't find the cover really like pleasing to look at. It's kind of blah. I don't even know what it's about. But again, I've had it since 2018. And I have not picked it up. I have not even cracked it open since I bought it. So this is definitely a book that I will be donating to hopefully someone else would enjoy reading this. Alright, the next book was a book I bought right before quarantined. I used to participate in the Barnes & Noble book club. I would go there once a month with a group of amazing people and we would discuss books. And it definitely really forced me to read books that I would not typically read. But I think it was the March book club pick was A Good Neighborhood by Teresa Ann Fowler. I obviously never started because quarantine happened and everything was shut down. I did try it though after that, and I didn't even get through the whole book. I got maybe like 60 pages in and I was really bored about it. It's about a neighborhood and that's all I really got. I was super bored. It just didn't interest me. So because now I don't think I'll ever pick this back up again, I am going to unhaul it and hopefully someone else will love this book and unlike me. So the next book was a book that I got for a gift maybe like 1 or 2 years ago from someone on my husband's side of the family. I know a lot of people like this book. I think it's had a lot of like recognition, but I just have never picked it up. I believe it's historical fiction, and this is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dewar. It's a winner of the Pulitzer Prize. So I really feel bad about getting rid of this book because I feel like it actually has merit to it, because some of these books are just books that I don't think are very good from what I've heard, but I probably should have read this and I didn't. And maybe there'll be someone watching this video that's telling me that I need to read this book, and maybe I will keep it and give it a second chance. But as of right now, it is going into the bins to be donated, but I don't know, I just haven't read it. Alright, the next book was a book box book that I received, and it just doesn't seem interesting to me, and I really haven't honestly heard much about it, and it's Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova, maybe? Zoraida Cordova. It's about the King's Justice, and they have to like compete or something, and that's about all I know, but it does not sound like something I am interested in reading. I've had it now for quite some time and I have not had any desire to pick it up. I always feel bad giving away the boxes because I did spend, obviously money on the book boxes, and the books are so pretty and they're signed, but I'm hoping this will go to someone who will appreciate this and love the cover of it and will find interest in it, because I'm just not really interested in this book, so I will be donating it. Alright, the next book was a book that I was planning for a secret TBR for, but it just never happened, and I'm pretty sure this is like the sequel maybe. I don't even know if it's the first one in the series, but I'm just not interested in reading it right now. And if I really want to read it, I'll just buy it again or get it from my library. But it's literally brand new, which most of these books are. And this is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. And I think it's like science fiction, I think. And I am not a huge science fiction person. I do like dystopian type novels, but science fiction is something like adult science fiction is something that I haven't really gotten into yet. So it's just something I'm not interested in, and I'm hoping someone will find like a brand new hardcover book because it's never been touched. The next book is by an author, and that's that I do not have any interest in reading their books by. I don't usually talk about this author on this channel, and I'm not going to really say anything about it, but it is The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith, or this person, which I'm not going to even say the name. I got this like used, so it's a used copy. It was still really, really good condition. I have no desire to read it, so I'm going to just check it, and that's all I'm going to say about this book. We're going to leave it. This book was a book that I bought pretty much just because it was cheap, and I bought it off a website that we're just not going to talk about either on this channel, and it kind of went down, I want to say maybe like springtime perhaps, and it's Totally Awkward Love Story by Tom Ellen and Lucy Envision. I started this book, but like I was so turned off right from the beginning because it's talking about a girl just wanting to lose her virginity, and I hate that trope in books. So I have no desire to read this, and I just don't think it's probably definitely more of a YA audience, and I'm over this and I don't want to read it. So let's move it off my shelf. Right, the next book is another book box book, and it is House of Dragons by Jessica Clueless. This was I want to say an owl crate maybe. I honestly don't remember, so I could have gotten this wrong. This one I think is a competition, and it talks about like dragons and stuff. I'm just not someone that really likes reading about dragons. It's not something that I'm really interested in at all. But it is a really pretty cover. Of course, it's a book box, so I'm not surprised. But again, if someone thinks I should read this, let me know and give it a chance. So the next book I got originally for I think it was for a readathon maybe. And I just never picked it up, and it's just something that I don't see myself prioritizing right at this time, and I'm just gonna get rid of it, and as is. And it's called Stepbrother Dearest by Penelope Ward. This is a forbidden love type trope, which is something that I usually would gear towards. I think the prompt for the readathon was forbidden love, and I couldn't really find anything, so I bought this off of Amazon. I don't know anything about it besides a girl falling in love with her stepbrother, I'm assuming. I don't really know, but I think I have heard about Penelope Ward maybe as a good author, but I don't know. But I'm just gonna unhaul it for now, and then maybe another time I'll pick up again when I'm in that mood for a forbidden love romance story. All right, the next book was a cover by, and I just have no desire to read it. I will not lie to you about it. And it's The Light Between Worlds by Laura B. Wemouth. I loved the like really plain white background with like the white flowers that really caught my eye. And it's about like airstrikes in London, and they're swept into like a forest and a kingdom. I don't know, it just doesn't sound something like I'm interested in. I think there's other books that are similar to this kind of concept that I'd be more interested in reading. And it's been on my bookshelf for several months, and I honestly totally forgot about it. So I'm gonna unhaul it for now, and then maybe someday if I really want to read it, I'll get it from the library. All right, the next book is a book that I feel like a lot of people have read, especially if they've seen the movie. I've never watched the movie, and I've had this book for a while. I mean, it's been out for a while, and I've not picked it up, and at least I didn't pay full price for this. I got it secondhand, and it's Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And yeah, it's a love story, and I'm pretty sure like the girl ends up like having to take care of the guy or something and then falling in love. I'm just not interested in it really. And I know this is like, it could have been popular on BookTube before. I know it's an older book. I have no idea. Like I said, I've never even seen the movie. Not interested. And I definitely know that I could get this somewhere if I really wanted to read it again. Next book, well, I think I was going to do it as a buddy read at one point with a bunch of people, and I just never did it, and I just don't want to read it. And it's called The Book of Women of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. And I don't know anything about it. I think it's kind of like historic, like a fiction book that takes place in the like path, but it's not like historical fiction, I don't think, because it's not actually based on anything that's true. I could be totally making this up and I have really no idea, so don't really take my word for it because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm not interested and I'm just going to push it to the side. As you can tell, I don't even know what I'm talking about. The next book that I have is a book that I have a duplicate of because I got it from 2 book boxes that had the same book. So I picked pretty much whatever book I preferred better. And this is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Machiaco. This was, I don't remember which edition this was. This was not an easy decision for me because the 2 books are really, really pretty and they each have strengths. But the other one I have has beautiful sprayed edges that are black with like white flowers on it. So that kind of was what spilled it for me. It's a fantasy story and I don't really know much more about it, but I'm hoping someone will love this book, whoever gets it, because it's legit the most gorgeous book ever and it's signed. So it broke my heart a little bit to get rid of this one, but there's really no reason for me to have 2 copies of a book that I have not even read and may not even like. If I really liked this book, I would keep both editions of it because I would, you know, want maybe both of them, but I just don't feel the need to have it right now. Next book was another secondhand book, and it's just by an author that I have kept one of her books. I've tried it, stopped, tried and stopped, but I just don't foresee myself reading this anytime soon, and it's definitely a book that I could get really cheap secondhand or at the library, and the books don't cost much in general, and it's Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express Train. I know Agatha Christie is like the godsend of like thriller mystery novels, and I'm struggling on another book of hers, but I really do want to get through it because they're not long books. But I figured if I really want this book, I didn't pay much for it, I could definitely easily get this again and it's not be like a big deal. So I am going to unhaul it for right now. Another book I have is a book box book that I got, and it is The Girl with the Smile Bead, the story of war and what comes after. And it's from 2018 April, so it's like almost 2 years old, and it is I'm pretty sure it's, again, like I said, it's about a war and what comes after it, and that's probably a young girl that was involved in the war some way. This is probably a really powerful story, and I'm sure it's probably a great read. But for me, sometimes I want more of a upbeat read, or if it is a really sad read, something that's like totally like fiction where it could never happen. And this, I'm pretty sure, is either based off real stuff or like really could happen. And I'm just not really at the mindset of that. I get enough of that sometimes at work and I don't really need it. And in the news, and I don't need it in my book. So I am going to unhaul it for right now. The next book is another duplicate book that I have. I have 2 copies of this from book boxes, I think from Owl Crate maybe. And I think the other one was Fairy Loot. So Fairy Loot's edition, one has blue sparkled sprayed edges and this one didn't. But it is Fable by Adrienne Young. And I don't know much about it besides that it is fantasy. And this cover though is still absolutely gorgeous. Like, again, signed edition. Breaks my heart to get rid of it, but I had to pick and choose, and the other one I said had sprayed edges. So as of right now, again, I will be unhauling this one. So this is actually the first book that I'm unhauling that I read. I talked about it on my worst books of 2020, and this was The Escape Room by Maren Stoffels. It's a YA novel. I didn't pay much for it, so I don't really care much about getting rid of it. It was just bad. It was bad all around. Didn't like it, so I don't want it on my bookshelf because I would have no desire to pick up this book, recommend this book. You know, there's those books where you know that you don't like, but you really could see someone else liking it. This one, I just don't even see that. So let's get rid of it and stop taking up room on my bookshelves. The next books kind of go together. I am unhauling them. I've talked about them a lot on my channel. I don't think anyone will be surprised if they watch my videos or were on the red team for Disney Channel Games Readathon. And this is The Tourist Attraction and Mistletoe and Mr. Right by Sarah Morgenthaler. I will never read these. I have DNF'd both of them. I didn't intentionally buy one and then like want to try a second one. One of them was I had gotten this one before the Disney Channel Games Readathon buddy read. I had DNF'd this one. I had picked this one up in hopes that maybe it'd be better. Maybe it would make more sense because this technically is the first in the series. You don't have to read them though together. And I still didn't like it. And I still DNF'd it. And I just will never read these. So maybe someone else will like these stories. They are chunkers, especially for books that I don't think need to be this long. But they're going bye-bye. So the next book is a book that I got. I want to say I picked it up somewhere. I had not even started the series, but it was a series that I wanted to start, but the series for me just was it, and I just have really no desire to continue this YA series, and it is Scott Westerfeld's Ugliest, Prettiest Specials, extras. I don't even know what this is really about, and it's the continuance of the series of the Uglies. I was kind of disappointed in the Uglies. I just have no desire to continue reading this series, so I'm just gonna unhaul this now, and because I'm never gonna pick it up. Okay, the next book, I don't even know where I got this from, and it is Loved Walked In by Marissa de los Santos, and I think it's like a love type story. I don't know much about it, but I don't want to read it. I don't know anything about it. The cover doesn't interest me, and I am just chucking it. The last book that I'm unhauling is a Once Upon a Book Club book, and it is Ray Bear's Behold What Is Coming by Jordan Ifueko, maybe? I'm sure I said that wrong. This book is legit so gorgeous, but it's just not something that I am interested in. I don't really know much it's about, but from what I've just read quickly, it's just something I don't see myself picking up, and I would love for someone to really enjoy and really love how beautiful this book is, because it's absolutely gorgeous. If not, it's just gonna sit on my shelf and collect dust, and that's a tragedy. So all right, so this was again my first unhaul. There's probably more books I could have unhauled, but I am going to hold on to them just for maybe a little bit longer, and then maybe I'll do another unhaul very soon. But if there's any of these books that you think I should give a second chance to, please leave in the comments below. Maybe that will be like a video that I will do of trying these books and giving them second chances. But again, please let me know. So if you like today's sharing with me, please press that subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you never want to miss any of my content, please press that notification button. And if you want to be my friend on any other social media platform, all that information is listed below. And yeah, so stay kind, loves, and I'll see you next time. Bye.